Imagine standing on a quiet riverbank, and suddenly, your own reflection refuses to move. The water grows darker, whispers call your name, and something beneath the surface begins to rise. What would you do when the only way to survive is to empty your mind? Empty your mind, a powerful motivational story for your life. The morning sun spread golden light across the quiet river. Birds sang high in the branches, their calls sharp and clear. The boy stepped barefoot onto the cold stone. Water lapped at his ankles, cool and sharp against his skin. He balanced the empty basket in his hand, the handle rough with age. The other basket pressed heavy against his back, though it carried nothing. The silence of the forest pressed in close, too close. Leaves rustled as if something unseen moved just beyond sight. His breath slowed, heavy in his chest. He felt each beat of his heart echo against the stillness. The water shimmered, but his reflection did not match his movement. It stood still, staring back with eyes that did not belong to him. The basket slipped from his hand and struck the water with a hollow sound. Ripples spread wide, yet the reflection remained unbroken. The air grew colder, thick with a weight he could not explain. A faint whisper brushed his ear, though no one was near. The whisper lingered, curling around his mind like smoke. He turned quickly, but the trees stood silent and still. Only the river moved, slow and endless, carrying secrets he could not see. The reflection below lifted its head higher than his own. Its mouth opened, but no sound escaped. His throat tightened, dry and aching, though the air was damp. A sudden gust of wind bent the trees, their branches groaning in protest. The smell of wet earth filled his nose, sharp and heavy. The basket on his back felt heavier, pulling him down as if filled with stones. He tried to shrug it off, but the straps dug into his shoulders like claws. The water darkened, the shimmer fading into a deep black surface. Shadows swirled beneath, moving like restless shapes waiting to rise. The reflection's eyes widened, unblinking and fixed on his own. His legs trembled, but he could not step back. It was as if the river itself held his feet in place. Then the whisper returned, louder, sharper, right beside him. The whisper cut through the air like a blade. It spoke his name, slow and drawn, each syllable heavy with force. Goosebumps spread across his arms, though the air was thick and warm. The reflection leaned forward, closer to the surface, closer to him. Its lips moved again, and this time sound came through. A voice that was not his own, deep and hollow, spilling from the water. The ground beneath the stones shifted, slick and uncertain under his feet. He spread his arms to balance, but the basket pulled him sideways. The straps tightened, wrapping against his skin like living rope. The weight dragged harder, pressing him down, inch by inch. The river gurgled with a low, throaty sound, as if it laughed. His breath quickened, loud in his ears, louder than the wind. The whisper became many voices now, layered and sharp, circling him. Leaves shook violently, though no storm touched the trees. The reflection reached a hand upward, pale and dripping. The surface rippled, yet the hand did not fade. It broke through the water, stretching toward his trembling leg. Cold droplets struck his skin as the hand brushed against his ankle. The touch was icy, sharper than the river itself. His muscles tensed, but he could not move away. The grip tightened, firm, unyielding, pulling him lower. The stone beneath his foot slipped, slick with moss. He staggered, arms flailing, the empty basket crashing against his side. The voices grew louder, filling the air, a chorus of broken echoes. Every word blurred together, but the meaning was clear. They called for him to surrender, to let go, to fall. The trees around him bent closer, their shadows stretching long across the water. The sunlight dimmed, swallowed by a gray haze that spread like smoke. The river no longer shimmered. It churned with a restless darkness, endless and deep. His reflection smiled now, a cruel curve that did not belong to his face. The hand pulled harder, tugging with strength that shook his balance. His knee buckled, splashing into the freezing water. The basket on his back yanked him forward, heavy as stone. The voices fell silent all at once. And in the silence, something massive stirred beneath the surface. The river swelled, rising higher against his legs. The current twisted, circling around him like a living thing. Bubbles surfaced, large and violent, breaking with a hollow sound. The stones shifted beneath the water, grinding together as if alive. His reflection vanished, swallowed by the black surface. Then two eyes opened below, vast and glowing, fixed on him. The light from them cut through the darkness, pale and unnatural. He tried to step back, but the grip on his ankle held him firm. The air grew thick, pressing against his chest, stealing his breath. Branches snapped in the forest, one after another, as if something moved closer. The glowing eyes rose higher, widening, breaking the surface at last. Water cascaded down, a shape too large to understand. He could see only fragments, scales that shimmered like iron, teeth long and jagged, a mouth that stretched far wider than his body. The basket straps dug deeper into his shoulders, locking him in place. His arms strained, shaking as he fought to pull free. The creature's breath hit the air, hot and foul, carrying the stench of decay. The river shook with its growl, a sound that rattled the stones under his feet. The hand on his ankle released, only to be replaced by something far larger. A claw, heavy and sharp, clamped around his leg and pulled. The pull dragged him forward with brutal force. Water surged over his waist, icy and violent. His fingers clawed at the slick stones, but they slipped from his grasp. The forest tilted around him, the trees a blur against the rushing sky. The basket on his back slammed into the river, filling with black water. Its weight doubled, tripled, crushing him downward. He gasped, his lungs burning, his chest tight with panic. The glowing eyes rose closer, inches from his own face. They blinked slowly, deliberately, as if savoring his fear. The claw tightened, piercing his skin, warm blood swirling into the cold river. He felt it coil around his leg, not just holding but claiming. The creature's mouth opened wider, teeth glistening in the dim light. The sound of grinding stone filled the air, though nothing moved above. The voices returned, softer now, chanting in unison. Each word echoed inside his skull, pounding like a drum. The river no longer felt like water. It felt thick, heavy, almost alive, pulling him deeper with every second. His arms thrashed, reaching for the fading light above. But the claw tugged again, harder, dragging him into the waiting dark. The surface split above him as his head plunged beneath. The roar of the river faded into a muffled silence. Only the pounding of his heartbeat echoed in his ears. The darkness pressed close, swallowing every trace of light. Bubbles rushed from his mouth, swirling upward like silver sparks. But they rose into nothing, vanishing before reaching the surface. The claw pulled harder, guiding him deeper into the black. Shapes moved around him, sliding just out of sight. Long shadows curved and twisted, circling him with intent. A sudden flash revealed faces in the water. Dozens of them, pale and still, staring with lifeless eyes. Their mouths hung open as if frozen in a final scream. Their bodies drifted, yet none floated upward. They remained suspended, as though the river itself refused to release them. His chest convulsed, begging for air. The need to breathe grew unbearable, crushing him from within. Then the voices returned, but now they spoke inside his mind. They promised release if he stopped fighting. They urged him to empty himself, to let the river claim all that remained. The claw loosened slightly, waiting for his surrender. His chest ached, the pressure unbearable, his body trembling on the edge of collapse. The faces in the water drew nearer, their empty eyes fixed on him. The voices pressed harder, louder, demanding surrender. And then, in the chaos, he closed his eyes. He released the fear. He released the struggle. He released the weight of the basket, letting it slip free into the depths. The straps tore from his shoulders, and with them, the crushing burden disappeared. The claw loosened, its strength fading like smoke. The voices fell silent, their chorus broken. The water shifted, no longer black, but clear and calm. Light pierced through, warm and golden, filling the river with brilliance. The faces dissolved, leaving only ripples of peace behind. His lungs filled, not with water, but with air. He rose upward, breaking through the surface with a desperate breath. The river lay still, the forest bright, the sky open and endless. He stood on the stone once more, barefoot and steady. His reflection returned, simple and whole, smiling back with quiet strength. The baskets were gone. The burden was gone. Only the lesson remained. To empty the mind is not to lose, but to be free. And in freedom, life begins again.